Just received some breaking news that the High Court through the West Bengal has said that we will close down the hospital. This is a big one that they're going to be shifting everyone. The Calcutta High Court taking a very big decision, informing the state that this hospital, that has been in controversy for the last so many days following the very barbaric crime, will be shut down in all probability. The High Court saying close the hospital. How many patients are there? So the High Court also looking now for alternative arrangements. Just take a look at the scenes, what had happened. You had this mob barging into the hospital. They created such mayhem, destruction, indulging in acts of vandalism. In fact, they destroyed everything in their way. They vandalized the emergency department, nursing station, medicine store, and therefore there's no other option because everything is now damaged. CCTV damaged, cameras had been damaged. This mob entering the hospital, ransacking everything that was in their path. So let me go straight across now to Ananya for this big development. Ananya, over to you. Tell us a little bit more. Has it been confirmed? Has the court made up its mind to shut down the PG Carr Medical College?
Well, no, this is just an observation coming in from the Calcutta High Court bench headed by the Chief Justice T.S. Sivangam. However, the state is informed that the crime scene is secure and, in fact, no damage has been happened to the place of occurrence where, this young woman had actually lost her life. But definitely, scathing observations coming in from the Calcutta High Court when, the state's failure comes to completely, comes out in the open where the state had failed. And that is something that the Calcutta High Court is also icked about it. In fact, the Chief Justice going on to say that you should also be disturbed. It being a citizen of the country, it is painful to me and it should be painful to you as well, is what something the Calcutta High Court is saying to the State Council. So very clearly and categorically some strong observations coming in. But would they convert into a strong order from the Calcutta High Court? It's something that we have to wait and watch for.
Absolutely. Also, Ananya, just tell us a little bit more. What's happening in court? The court asking some very pertinent questions from the state as to why the police failed in their duty to prevent this kind of mob violence. What, has been the defense from the state side? What is the kind of evidence they have given to the court?
Well, they're still showing the videos and what had happened. They're explaining as to what had happened that night. In fact, the state also going on to say that they were not prepared for over 7,000 people barging inside, in fact, the barricades. And that is something the court is considering. The court now further going on to say that the issue is that the incident occurred on August 14. And if this occurs in any other college, police is injured, the law and order condition has completely failed in the national capital. In the state of West Bengal is something that the court is going on to say. Now we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and whether the Calcutta High Court passes an operational order to this effect.
Oh, absolutely. It's a big one, but it's just an observation. Ananya confirming for us that the court is mulling to close down the hospital with the kind of damage that has happened in the hospital. In fact, the court also proposing that they will shift everyone. They're seeking more details from the state. Ananya, is the court asking now for all those details as to just how many patients are there and what really will be the logistics like in case this hospital has to be shut down and those patients or those doctors needing to be shifted out to another hospital?
Well, the court is asking as to what had actually happened. It is going through the course of the events. In fact, the court is with regards to, seeking some kind of a measure that is a short-term measure in order to, put the things in place to put the house in order. And that is something that we might expect from the Calcutta High Court order today. But at this point of time, general questions coming into both the sides. And we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and whether, these strong observations get converted into a very, very strong order from the Calcutta High Court or not. Just like the previous one, if you remember, the matter was handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. And the former principal of the RG Medical College, Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, was asked to step down and be on a long leave until and unless all of this ruckus gets...
Okay, all right. Stay on with me. Komalika also getting us some more information from inside the court. Komalika, over to you. Just tell us, there's a lot of information coming in from inside the court. This is going to be huge, isn't it? The Calcutta High Court actually thinking of closing down and shutting down the hospital with the kind of damage and destruction that happened on that night when this mob went on a rampage, wreaking havoc inside the hospital.
Yeah, definitely the court is also concerned, and they pointed, as Ananya was also pointing it out, that being a citizen of Calcutta, everyone is very concerned. And there obviously state has projected, it is state has given their logic, but the fact that this is just an observation, but the fact that how can this thing happen, this is concerning each and every person, and judge is also somebody who is from Calcutta. So definitely that point is there. Not only there, a lot of other points also they are that is being mentioned, like this is, I mean, how to secure it in future. That is the question which the CJ is right, that how to prevent this in future. It has gone beyond the control like this. How can this happen? And also the council which is opposing the state, they are saying that the hooligans, they came to tamper the evidence and wipe the evidence. That is the deposition of Bikash Ranjan Bhattacharya, who is also the lawyer of the parents. Now there the state has said that they have not gone to the crime scene. Crime scene is in third floor and the crime scene is secure. That is the point that has been laid by the state. But Bikash Ranjan Bhattacharya, who happens to be the lawyer of the parents, he said the plight was a pre-planned thing. They went inside and they could not go to the third floor. They wanted to tamper the evidence and wipe out the evidence. That instruction was given to them. That is what is interesting, that comes from the council. And also the court is, if this thing is happening on the 14th, what will happen if it is repeated? That is the concern which everybody is having. If police got injured and couldn't stop the mob, then the law and order situation has failed. This is the question which is being raised by the court, that if police couldn't, that was a question which we were also raising, that if police themselves, they got injured, and the direct theory was the number of people who were outside, they were more than the number of police who could stop them. That is the only reason, and where there is this question on the intelligence. Police is now doing everything. They are arresting people, they are alerting people who are spreading misinformation, but that they could not apprehend that so much of people will come is definitely something which is questionable.
Absolutely. Arunima is also joining us. Arunima, a lot happening, inside the Calcutta High Court. Calcutta High Court pulling up the state administration and the police after a ward of the medical college was vandalized by unidentified miscreants. Arunima, the very shocking part that is coming up from all this information is now the state is saying that there was a crowd of 7,000 people that apparently barged into this hospital, wreaking havoc. They went on this rampage. What are the kind of inputs that you're getting in, and the reactions from, the nurses and the trainee doctors at that hospital? Imagine what they must be feeling with the events that have happened ever since this rape case came to light.
So let me narrate to you what doctors told me about the hooliganism that they saw. They said they had all gathered as per the call that was given around 11 p.m. And then about half an hour, 45 minutes later, there was a huge crowd that was using the same slogans that were being used by the protesting doctors that moved towards the RG Kar hospital. Now the protesting doctors said that they were unsure who this group were because the slogans were similar. The total amount, the numbers that was constantly swelling, and in no time this crowd started vandalism. The police presence, as per the eyewitnesses, as per the doctors, was minimal. Allegations have also been made that the police did nothing to save the doctors. The female doctors had to run back to their hostel. The crowd, the mob that was vandalizing, chased some of the women doctors to their hostels as well. The patients, there were some patients who were waiting, and last night also, 24 hours after this vandalism took place, I did see patients waiting there because they had no other place to go. There were some attendants, some patients, and the doctors who saw the vandalism told me that the patients also ran towards the hostel requesting the doctors to take them in because they feared for their life. There were nurses, and there were some who said that they were even given rape threats. Just if you give me 30 seconds, there are some who have said that the vandalizing crowd told them, "Jo uske saath hua hai, wahi tumhare saath karenge." Just imagine the amount of trauma that the doctors went through.
Oh God, I cannot even imagine the ordeal and the horrifying experience. And understandably, from all your interactions, I've been hearing you speaking to them, Komalika speaking to them. They seem so scared and vulnerable, and understandably so. Komalika, Arunima, I have to leave it at that. But thank you so much for getting us those reports. We'll keep coming back to you. A quick break right here on the broadcast. Stay tuned. We'll be back with lots more on the other side.